Welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are still going to be looking at another aspect of objects in JavaScript. Remember that we've been able to examine things like how you can create objects in JavaScript. We've been able to look at how you can access object properties in JavaScript using the dot notation and the brackets method way in JavaScript. And we've also been able to look at how you can add new properties to your existing objects in JavaScript. So all of these are the aspects of JavaScript that we've touched, and this has enlightened us to understand what JavaScript object is and what you can do with it and how it allows you to bundle properties of a particular thing together. Remember that when we use an example of a person for how to create an object, you will notice that the person can have, height, name, first name, last name, age, and other things like that. So JavaScript object allows us to bundle together properties that belong to such a person. So that is what object allows us to do in JavaScript. And then we have been able to see how you can add new properties when you declare objects in JavaScript. In this particular lesson, we'll look at how you can delete properties. There are times when maybe the properties that you've initially added to your object, you don't want them again. You can use the delete keyword to remove such properties, and you can use the delete keyword to delete the key and the value of such property from your object, as we are going to be seeing in this lesson. So let's dive in and let us see how you can use the delete keyword to remove uh, properties from your objects. Okay, so here's my editor. Let me comment this. Deleting properties from objects in JavaScript, and I will comment this too. The delete keyword is used to delete properties from objects. Okay, so let's proceed. So I'll come here and make an object. I will name it car. Then I'll give it a name. Then I'll give it a model. Year. Manufacturer. Country. Origin. Now, from my screen, you can see that I've been able to create an object car with all these properties: the name, model, year, manufacturer, country, and engine. So if I want to delete any of these property, the way to do it in JavaScript is simply by just calling that delete keyword, delete, then you call your object name, which is in this instance car. And then what do I want to remove? I want to remove manufacturer. And I can then output my result to let you see what I mean. Now, if you take a look at my screen, you can see I bought uh, I bought a new Cadillac made in 2025, and you can see that these two values are coming from what I have as the property of my object. Now, If I now try to say I want to access the manufacturer of this car, so the way I bought a new Cadillac May in 2025 and say something like this, 2025. So, so I want to put full stop, I put it this way in 2025. Now I say Cadillac is a is a product of car dot manufacturer. Now, if you take a look at this, you will notice that instead of it to pop Cadillac is a product of General Motors, I am saying undefined, which is the correct thing that I should expect as a result of the fact that I have already deleted this property from what you can see as the properties of this particular car object, and that is the reason why I am getting undefined. So if I comment this out now and do something like this, you definitely get General Motors, which is the correct interpretation for this particular property. So the delete keyword removes properties from your object and then gives you a result of undefined in your output. So just before we go, there are two things I want you to know and take note of when you are using the delete keyword when working with objects in JavaScript. The first is that the delete keyword deletes both the value of the property and the property itself. So both this key and the value, the delete keyword deletes both the value and the property. So it removes it entirely from your object. And the second thing is that when you delete property from an object, that property cannot be reused, cannot be used again until it is added back. So if you try to use this property that has been deleted, you can see that we are getting a result of undefined, which means that if we need to access it, we need to add it back to this our car object that we have here before we can access it and get the correct value, which is what we have in our properties for it. But unless it is re-added back, it cannot be used again. So these two things are very important when working with the delete keyword in JavaScript object. So I hope that you have been able to understand how you can use the delete keyword to remove property of an or from an object. So I can have more than one. So I can do another one. Say remove engine. Is there any way where I'm referencing engine? So if I try to now reference engine now and say, okay, I bought a new Cadillac with a capacity with a capacity of Cardinals engine. Now look at it. I bought a new Cadillac with capacity of undefined, and this is as a result of the fact that I have removed the engine 2 as the property of this particular object. And so you can have as many as you need in your code or in your program. So this is how the delete keyword works when working with objects and property. Now, when working with objects and you're trying to remove properties from such objects. Thank you, and in the next lesson we'll continue.